Hey, Spirit Tribe. Gigi here with Spirit Readings, and I'm so glad and so happy that you're able to join me here tonight as I'm going live. Giving a moment for people to come in, but also I pulled cards before I hit go live. This is a general collective message. So for those that are going to play back or watch it when it's not live, whatever the case may be, we have the Nine of Pentacles showing up here. Pentacles is earth. Earth is the power of the physical body. It is being grounded, centered, stable. What else? Present. So this represents someone who is self-sufficient, refined, and comfortable in their surroundings. This woman here has built the life that she visualized for herself, and therefore she is fulfilled and content. She resides in the flourishing garden at harmony with the wildlife she has tamed. The peacock by her side represents grace, refinement, and affluence. Now, on the flip side, it can represent disharmony in the home, financial stresses, or a possible theft. The usual easy flow of things has been disrupted, and one is jarred into a sense of panic and discomfort. We don't want the flip side of that at all. Now, I also did get reconciliation here as another message. There's something familiar in the air as your senses evoke memories that remind you of a distant recollection. You're being called to reach deep into your past as something relevant to today resides there. This marks an occasion of connecting with loved ones, a celebration to bring people together, and an unexpected visitor. Someone who was lost to you has sought you out. It's time to dig out old diaries, sift through photographs, and allow yourself to drift back to times gone by. Soon, all will be revealed as you reconcile with that familiar feeling of yesteryear. Good evening, Roberto. If you have any questions, please put them in all caps for me and I will get to them. I am just doing a general collective reading at the moment. We have a number 30 for change. Hi, I'm hoping it's marijuana or something like that. So if you have any questions, you guys put them in all caps. I'm just doing a general collective reading. Okay, let me get these started so that way afterwards I can get to them. So we got change coming up here as well. Change is nowhere near as scary as history that keeps repeating itself. It's time to move forward and break old repetitive patterns. Hi, Kendra. When in a forest, it's not always easy to see the wood for the trees. Ask for help and avoid repeating the same old mistakes. Accepting help is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. Know that your life will be awesome and change is often a good thing. It's time to welcome change and get ready for a new adventure. The affirmation: I am willing to accept help to make positive changes. And some good crystals are amethyst, hematite, moss agate, and lepidolite. So I am willing to accept help to make positive changes. We all need a little help sometimes. Our guides and our angels are telling us that there's no need to worry here, you guys. So don't feed that monkey of worry, fear, doubt, negativity. Feed the positive one. We also have awakening crystal for soul awakening. I am awakening to my true essence, and I am a full expression of my soul's vibration. And I guess that's what that crystal can look like there. I get by with a little help from my friends. Absolutely, you guys. So, um, sometimes we all need a little help from our friends. That song kind of popped in my head too. That's funny that you said that. But okay, let me see. We had a couple of questions here. This was the one I saw first. What awaits me in September? It is literally right around the corner here. I can't believe we are almost in the Burr months, you guys. So we have the Bull coming out for you. You're a bit, I like the Beatles too. So, I feel like you're setting out on it. It is flying by. It really did. And I can't believe how fast it flew by. So, the Fool is starting out on a new adventure, for the first time. We have all these butterflies up here. They're signs of transformation, they're signs of change, but the Fool is also cautioning you to pay attention to your surroundings so that you don't fall off a cliff. It's great to be excited and motivated about a new change, going a new direction, but we absolutely have to pay attention. I also drew the Five of Swords for you as well. So maybe you feel like you've been stabbed in the back more than once, as you can see here. And the person here is fleeing the scene, like, I did the crime, but I ain't doing the time, pretty much. But if you look and see, he is looking back. So, I mean, people often regret later on divorced, yeah, that they have, burned that bridge or stabbed that person in the back. But I also got the Empress for you. And again, look at all of those butterflies. You're in your Empress era. The whole year really is flying by. So, you're healing. And wow, my light just kind of did a thing. Woo, that was trippy a little bit. But you're healing, you're moving forward, and you're taking it one thing at a time. I don't know if you like country music or not, but I started hearing that Sarah Evans song, I Get a Little Bit Stronger, and I feel like that's where you are. Like, each day you get a little bit stronger, and now you're in your Empress era and you're attracting good things to you, whether it's love or wherever you're choosing to focus your time and your attention. And healing isn't just one and done either, Spirit is saying here. So if one day you're like, man, I'm completely healed, life is great, and then you're just sad one day because a new layer, and you're just like, where did this come from? It's okay. You're still going to get through that. You're still strong. That's what Spirit is giving me here as well. Like, and I feel like the person has a lot of regrets. Like, you literally are the one that got away, is what I'm hearing here as well. So September, just focus on your healing, focus on doing the things that you're passionate about, the things that you love doing. And just know that your guides and your angels are working overtime behind the scenes on your behalf for your highest and greatest good. And that is what I have for you for September. And I'm going to say it's something that you're continuously working on. So don't be too hard on yourself, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. Things can and will get better. They can and will turn around. And I love that for you. So I hope that answered. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. So Roberto wants a general for September. General for September. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, Roberto, you got the Queen of Wands coming in here. You're most welcome. Thank you. Now, the Queen of Wands is fire. Like, she is very strong. She goes after the things that she wants, and she doesn't let anyone or anything get in her way or slow her down. She's got the lion there and the eagle, her eyes in the sky. They are both symbols of strength and vision, and tapping into your own inner fire to get what you want out of your life. So I feel like you're very passionate, and you also have the Two of Cups. So I don't know if you're a single Pringle, or if you're married or not, but you could be attracting a new love here, or recommitting yourself if you're with someone. But this little angel is here. Single Pringle. Okay. So this is letting you know this is a blessed union. They're pouring into each other's cups here. So they're taking their own cup of love and they're offering it to the other person. So, this could be your soulmate, or your twin flame. And I also got Queen of Cups. So, she could be Queen of Wands or Queen of Cups, but cups is water. Water is the power of your emotions. And the Queen of Cups is a nurturer. She's very intuitive. And, where the Queen of Wands goes after what she wants, the Queen of Cups just kind of, ebbs and flows. Kind of like the Empress in a way too. I feel like, not forcing things to happen, but just allowing them to, unfold for you. And Mariana, I did not draw you a crystal wisdom. So I'm going to do that real quick. You got Heliodor for confidence. I am confident in all that I do. And that is from Mariana. So sorry that I forgot that. My brain is not is not working. It's been kind of a long couple of weeks. Clear quartz for Roberto. I got clear quartz clarity. I have clarity in all aspects of my life. So, if you feel like things are foggy and you don't understand or you don't know, it's going to be okay. Things are going to clear up. You're not going to have any doubts. And, I don't guess we're ever really doubt free or worry free. There's always something, but it's what we choose to focus on. And I hope that answered your questions, I can't even talk. Roberto. So if you're open and you're ready to receive love, I feel like it's a good month, a good time for you. And in times of separation, I always say you're both being prepared to be in a relationship with one another, like, so that when you do come together, you're an added blessing to one another. So, I think that helps so you don't focus on, man, feels like it's taking forever. You feel like things are going to get better now that you have clarity in so many areas of your life. Yes, absolutely. And the more you work with your intuition, the stronger that gets and the faster and clearer messages come in. So Thank you, Roberto, for letting me read for you. I absolutely appreciate that so much. And Kendra, I'm going to highlight this so I can look at it better. Um, I know this is random, but did you hear anything about the homeless woman if she was ever found? The one Curtis was talking about. She wasn't actually homeless. She lives in a small town, and I think she had dementia or something along those lines. And her husband also was not in good health. The last thing that I heard was that they called off the search for her. And I haven't heard anything else yet on that, Kendra, but I've kind of been really busy taking care of my mom too. So I haven't. I talked to Curtis for a little bit earlier today. I let him know I was doing a live in case he wanted to come on, but he is out at the lake. And so I was like, okay, and enjoy. Oh yeah, that's right. It was either Alzheimer's or dementia, and they are not sure why she left. I guess she had it in her head that she was going to go buy a home, but they already had a home. So I'm not completely 100% sure. I'll have to talk to Curtis. I know another friend of mine hit me up and asked me about it. And then they said that they had called off the search, and I should have messaged people. I didn't really, kind of forgot about, and I hate to say that, but last week was just so busy. And then I didn't get home until late last night from my mom's. So I'm home today. I'll be home part of a day tomorrow, and then I will be gone. I think until Tuesday again. She is doing really, really good. She got to take the bandage off. You're welcome, Roberto. Thank you for letting me read for you. Yeah, she got to take the bandage off yesterday. And then the home health nurse came, and also, she had physical therapy as well yesterday. So, yesterday was a busy, busy day, but my pops has already had to tighten her neck brace up because the swelling has gone down. She's stronger. She's feeling better. She has more color in her face, and everything like that. It completely slipped my mind though. I didn't get much sleep the last couple of days. For some reason, we were up yakking until 4 in the morning, and then Mom got up at 6:30 yesterday, and we were up like ever since. Well, I went to sleep last night, obviously, but sometimes I feel like I'm running on fumes a little bit. My husband didn't really sleep the first night we were there, and so I'm glad he slept the second night, and I was kind of more up with that. But yeah, she's doing really, really good. I'm really surprised and really blown away. Like she basically just needs help getting in and out of bed, and going to the bathroom, and that, I mean, other than that, she is doing so good. And I'm so grateful and thankful that you guys were praying and sending your well wishes and everything as well, because that really means a lot to me. And I'm long-winded, and I'm still going. But if anyone has any more questions, or if we just want to do a little talking, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, you just reminded me that I need to check in. I wonder if my friend will answer me if she's heard any more about the woman. Let's see if I can even find it. So, yeah, on she said she heard on August 18th that they had stopped the search, and I need to ask her. Let's see. Sometimes people see it and they answer right away, and sometimes they don't. So, but as soon as I know something, Kendra, I will absolutely let you know because she has been missing for a while now. And I know they had called it off because we had got a lot of rain, and she is like in a very remote place from my understanding, so maybe we'll get an answer. But no, and I even watched the news with my mom, I think, but kind of half awake. So, but yeah, I really hope they find her. Like I felt like they were getting close, and then they thought, there's no way she would be in that area, and then that's exactly where she is because they found her car and it was out of gas. So I don't even know if she knew where she was going. I feel like she ran out of gas and she got out and went on foot and, kind of got lost in the woods and, doesn't know where she is. And you know I didn't even think to ask because this past week is going back and forth to the hospital, and we looked it up, and one way from our home to the hospital was 68 miles. So that was a lot for me, back to back days of traveling. um, I've been sitting on my heating pad, on my back. Uh, and then I ended up getting sick one day because I'm not used to being around a lot of people for long periods of time. I have a lowered immune system. So, yeah, it's sad. And either way, I hope she's found, for her family to have that closure, that peace of mind, and everything. So I have had a heating pad too for the last week. Yes, my sciatica as well. Sometimes when I step down, my right knee, I'll just get a pain shoot through it, and I almost go to the ground from that. But then, of course, my sciatica from like the lower part of my back, it goes around into my hip and then down into my the outer part of my leg, clear down to my knee. And sometimes that area goes numb, and then sometimes it feels like there's a fireball traveling up and down my leg, and I'm just like, it comes and goes, and sitting position is the worst kind of. Yeah, it goes down into my glutes as well. And then like today, um the weather's actually been chilly and rainy here, and like that makes it worse. And like my hip today has just felt really stiff, and I'm like, can I catch a break? And I have to constantly move because if I don't, I get stiff, or parts go numb, and then the numbness hurts sometimes too. It's like this is 40. No joke. It is. I just turned 43. Yeah, walking a lot because I don't know about you, but I get knots, like places in my back will knot up, and even down in my leg I'll get knots, and they don't rub out. Like when you try to rub them out, then they just go to another spot, but they don't completely rub out all the way. And I was telling my mom, and I got to tell my doctor again, maybe I need to have like a full body MRI done because, what was I thinking? If I stand straight up, oftentimes I start to feel like I'm being crushed in my lower back. You have stress and knots up in your shoulders and neck area. Yeah, that sounds pretty good there. Okay, odd question here. The other day I was making coffee and refilling my sugar bowl, and as I was on my way into another room, I stomped my toe on a chair and upset the sugar directly on my manifestations. Ooh, well, I mean, my manifestations journal, and thought that it was such an odd place for it to land. Is that a good sign? The sugar landing directly there. How I would look at it is sugar is a sweetener, so it sweetens all of your dealings, and so you could look at it that way. That the sugar is going to get in there and just make things flow a lot sweeter. In your favor. I feel like it's how when you it's also how in you choose to look at things. Even though you didn't intend to do that, I don't believe in coincidences, so I would just be like, you know what? Maybe the sugar is a sign that these things are going to happen for you, and in a way that's kind and sweet and gentle, and sugar tastes good too, so I mean, I would definitely, that's how I look at it when I put sugar in anything, or doing spell work. Even I add sugar as a way. Hold on, let me see if I can find uh, something here that I normally, I usually put it up on the first of the month, but uh, let me see if I can, because I won't be here, I don't think, on September 1st, but I'll try to find it so I can share it with you guys. Because I do my rituals. Right, I did immediately assume that, but I just wanted a more, yeah, I mean, and honestly, I'm still learning too, Roberto. And what I've learned is intention um, plays a big part in when you're doing work. And let me see if I can find that. I know I have it somewhere. I always have to look for it because I always forget. Um, so in the left shoe, put a half a teaspoon of salt. In the right shoe, put a half a teaspoon of sugar. You will thank me later. Wear the shoes with the salt and sugar in them. The salt wards off negative energy, and the sugar attracts your desires to you. So, I mean, you can look at it as the sugar falling on that it is attracting your desires to you, the things that you are wanting to. I mean, it fell directly on what you are manifesting. So, when you think of that, every time you're manifesting and you remember, hey, the sugar fell on that. So it's attracting, and, salt helps to ward off any, negative energy. Trying to think what else would be. Um, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I've learned the biggest thing when we're manifesting and doing any kind of spell work is, the intentions that we're putting into it. And I tell people all the time, because sometimes, certain spells are really fancy and really detailed, and calling for a lot of ingredients. And if all you have is yourself and your intentions, that's enough. Your intentions are powerful. You're giving it power, the power within your own self. And that's what I've been learning myself as well. And I'm constantly learning. Like, I learn from you guys too, though, when it comes to stuff like that. And I love hearing about like your experiences and what you guys have going on. And, you know, because I can talk and talk and talk. That ain't no problem. But I like, that people, you never know, like when you go live, if anyone's going to show up. And I never know who I'm up against. I just picked this night because I'm home. Uh, let's see what this is. My family just started seeing a doctor, Matt, regarding my youngest son, Ronan, behavior. Is this a step in the right direction for us? I'm going to grab Ostra here. Ostra, would you like to answer questions tonight and help me? All right, we have a yes going on here. All right, Ostra for Kendra. Is this a step in the right direction for her son, Ronan, his behavior? It is. And I feel like you're really going to still have to advocate for him. I almost kind of see you like keeping a notebook and writing things down too. So you'll remember, so you can stay on top of things, kind of like documenting in a way, like his behaviors, what may set him off, or what helps, things of that nature. And I think, wasn't it Curtis that said something about like an emotional support bear, or something like that? But yeah, I can see you sitting there and, and writing the date and the time too, because, you never know like what all, like I did that with my migraines at one time, and I like found out, they were hormonal for me, but also like during full moons I tend to have migraines, and certain ones though, not like every single full moon. That would be no bueno, to say the least. But I feel like the date and the time, and being like very detailed, and then you can present this to the doctor and be like, look, this is what's going on. And I also think, is he still struggling with school, or has that finally gotten better, or still working, still adjusting? Because he's a very sweet and smart young man. He really is. And um, these behaviors, it's not as bad this year so far, but still adjusting with behavior, because change doesn't come easy to everyone. Like, it doesn't come easy to me. I'm very much a person of, I like a routine, and I don't like it when my routine gets messed with, So I can relate, and I can, yes, he is. He's very, very sweet. And maybe the teacher as well can kind of help with documenting, you know, it's a learning curve, and it's not just a learning curve for him. It's a learning curve for you, for his school. We really think a lot of his frustration is due to lack of communication. Yeah, because when you feel like you can't express yourself, or when you do, but it's not getting across. And then I feel like he gets really, really frustrated, and then it kind of bottles up, and then it explodes. You're a triple Taurus. You're a creature of habit. Yeah, and struggle with change. So I get that. Yeah, I mean, change doesn't, and I am very much, and I have to work on this, a person of, I want to have the control. I want to be in control of what's happening. But then the more, like, I realize, the more I try to do that, the less control I actually have. So, at 43 years old, I'm still learning and growing and everything. Yeah, I I believe you are going in the right direction, and it's not always going to feel like that because I'm a moody person, and my moods can change sometimes, but and I haven't always expressed it in the right way, because sometimes in the moment you're human, and yeah, it's hard to relinquish control too. It's very, very hard. Like, uh, that doesn't come easy to me too. People are like, just go with the flow and let things happen. I'm like, that doesn't feel right or natural to me. So it's definitely something I'm learning on. Like I said, I'm a work in progress, and I will be for the rest of my life. There's still a lot for me to learn. And, since I've had the strokes too, um, sometimes I'm learning things over and over and over again because my long term memory is fine, but my short term memory has been affected. So, even with tarot and things, um, I feel like I'm constantly going back and relearning, reteaching myself over and over and over again. And I get frustrated with that too, because when I forget and I'm like trying to, talk to my husband's gotten pretty good at filling in the blanks for me because I'm around him. Wow. Yeah, triple Taurus, that is a lot of earth right there. But that's another thing for me too. Like, the moon was in Capricorn when I was born, and so uh, it's really bossy, like, and really, like, I'll want to rest or something, and then my brain's like, nope, we got to get up, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to get this done, and I'm like, with what energy, like, I don't know who you're talking to, but it will not let me rest sometimes until I get things done. And so then I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself because of that. Your moon is Pisces. Ooh, Capricorn rising and Aries sun. Um, so you're a fire sun. I also am too, as a Leo, and moon is Pisces. So that's what the moon is actually really good in a water sign. So the Capricorn moon, though, is not its favorite place to be, and because, like, Cancer is its favorite place, and Capricorn is opposite of Cancer. But I have Gemini rising, so I'm like, okay, that's where my moodiness and my anxiety comes in, because the twin. But really, I think a Gemini is like a triplet and a quadruplet. Like, I think you're going to find more than just a twin in there. And so right there is, what is it? Fire, earth, and water. No, water is my Venus, because Cancer. And then, so I have all four elements in my big four. And so people are like, oh, you're balanced, and I'm like, yeah. In some things, yeah, of course. But but I also, with the Capricorn moon, when I'm not grounded and centered, or when I feel like I'm off balance, like, because I have a lot of Libra placements as well. So it's always like, we need balance in everything. And it's really true. We really do have to uh, balance literally our relationships and every area of our life. But ooh, that triple Taurus, I bet sometimes that feels heavy. Like, all that earth. I'm thinking, like, I just saw the hematite. I don't know if you've ever held a hematite stone, but they are really, really heavy, but they're a really good grounding stone to have is hematite. So, um, I don't know why that popped in my head. Sometimes, it just does. I just let it be. So, um, yeah, but I'm still learning about the birth chart and everything too. Like, I pretty much understand like the planets and everything, but then when it comes to the houses is where my brain trips up and my brain's like, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Like there's a block there. So I am still learning and still teaching and still growing. It is very like, and the funny thing is, I remember like when I was young, and my grandma was like, "You're a Leo," and these are all the you know keywords or the ways they describe Leo. And I was like, man, not everything about that seems to fit me. And I was like, I told my grandma, I was like, I feel like I'm more than just a Leo, not knowing about birth charts or anything. My grandma was a Scorpio, and she always was like reading her horoscope and studying up on things. A lot of earth around me. Father was a Capricorn, mother is a Taurus. Oh wow, her mother is a Taurus, and my grandmother's mother was a Taurus. Yeah, my mom's a Capricorn too. So me and her would butt heads a lot growing up. So me taking care, helping take care of her because she's a very independent person, does for herself, but she's trying her best, to listen to the doctors so she doesn't hurt herself, that she heals right. And man, that is a lot of earth. Maybe that's why hematite came up. Like that's a lot of yeah, earth. And I love it though. Like, um, so my mom was a Capricorn, her mom was a Scorpio, and then my great grandma was a Capricorn, and then her mom was Sagittarius. So, and I have a lot of Libra and Sagittarius in my birth chart too. So, and my brother's a Gemini, and I can remember one time being like, "Ooh, I'm glad I'm not a Gemini," because my brother, he is very like his moods change really fast. And then I did my birth chart and found out I had Gemini Rising, and I had to kind of eat my words, put my foot in my mouth a little bit, be like, "Oh, okay, that's where that comes from." And all three of your siblings are Geminis, boy. uh, do you butt heads a lot? Like my brother and I aren't even talking to each other right now. So because of him, you have to get your hands on that stone. Yeah, I I even had someone that made me a necklace. I wear my black tourmaline all the time, but I did have a necklace that had a hematite stone on it, and wearing it like it is heavy. I think it is too. Through me, it's like Roberto. Roberto needs hematite. Yeah. We butt heads all the time, and like I said, I think we haven't talked in like I think it was 2022 when I found out I had the strokes, and I told him, and he was like, "Don't bother me." And I was like, "What?" Teresa, hey girl, so glad I can't even talk. So glad to have you here. I swear I'm only drinking water, even though it has a flavor packet in there. A malachite, ooh yes, malachite. I've heard, is it malachite or is it another one that you gotta? It might be moldavite that you got to be careful because it will bite you. Like literally, I've had a piece of amethyst before bite me because it didn't. It was a kind of like ostra, my nephew had given me an amethyst pendulum, and it did not want to work with me. I ended up giving it to my husband. That's okay, Teresa. Better late than not at all, right? I mean, you're here for the party. I was just kind of uh, we've been talking about crystals and everything too. Yeah, but my husband, he is an Aquarius. His birthstone is amethyst, and I think that's why it wanted to work with him and not me, but it wanted a masculine energy because it wasn't happy that my nephew gave it to me in the first place. Like, it was not ready to be let go of. So you have dowsing rods. Ooh, that is so cool, Kendra. I have a friend. You're an Aquarius too. Yeah, so is my husband. And I think I mention that sometimes when I do like the Aquarius monthly readings. I know, like, one of the ones I did not too long ago, my cat decided, she wanted her fame and dove on my table, and I was like, wow, but my husband would get a kick out of that. So I was like, of course she did it during the Aquarius reading. Of course she did, because um he plays with her, and like she will tear him up, and I'm like, nope, we don't play with me like that. I don't let her scratch and bite me. I tell her no, and she gets mad at me. But you keep black obsidian in your window sills. Ooh. Do you see spirit around people? I can, if it chooses to let me see it. I hope that makes sense. But like, my guides and angels, when I do readings, talk to your guides and angels. And sometimes I see people, sometimes I don't. It kind of just depends. I mean, I don't know if you were here the time that I was talking about the portal in my closet here, where when we were sleeping in this room, I would get woke up a lot because spirits would pop through and wake me up or something, and be like, I want to get a message. And I'm like, cool, that's great, but can I get my sleep first so I don't get uh sleep deprived, and then I'll gladly get your message out if I'm able to. Your cat jumped on me like he always does when I sit, and one day he just bit my neck. Oh, bit your neck out of nowhere. It was so random. We were gone, and taking care of my mom, because my husband also helps take care of me. So since I've had the strokes and I'm in heart failure and things like that. But so he didn't want me. He was like, you're taking care of mama, but I got to take care of you, that sort of thing. But so he would come back and forth. Like, luckily we live in the same town and not very far apart. So he would come back and feed and make sure they had water and everything like that. But boy, when I got home last night, my Lisi girl about bowled me over. Well, first she barked and growled at me, and I was like, what in the world? She's a pity. And your cat only wants to be in front of the iPad. That's funny. Like, when Olive was like little, I had this game that I put on my phone, where she could chase like a little mouse or something on it, but it took her a while. I think when we got her, she was only 3 to 4 weeks old. And so she didn't understand at first, but now she does. That kind of thing. And but yeah, Tracy, I mean, pretty much if they want to show themselves to me, that's one thing. And I don't always see people. Sometimes I just get little flashes. Sometimes it's an animal. Whether they're here. He's a spicy orange cat. Olive is a gray tabby cat, but yeah, from the moment we got her, she was spicy. Like, we had to wrap her in a blanket because she was just growling and hissing. She wanted no part. But now, sometimes she will give me little kitty kisses and then she'll bite my lip and I'm like, ow. So, I try to get her not to bite and scratch me, but her daddy's fair game. Like, she will bite and scratch him all up. But I love that orange cats are the best. One of my best friends has an orange cat, and she does orange cat things, so they're special. I love that. I wanted an orange cat. I always was like Garfield, or what was the other one? There was another one. Heathcliff, I think was his name. I can't remember what that cartoon was called. For sure, yeah. She will send me pictures, and her orange cat just does bizarre things, and I'm here for it. I was like, I think I am part orange cat myself. Weird and random. Teresa, how are you feeling? How is dude doing? I hope. And my mom is doing really good. I know you're kind of late to the party. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about how well she's doing. I'll be going back over there tomorrow sometime and be there until Tuesday, I think. So I'm doing lives on Wednesdays, you guys, at 7 p. Central Standard Time since I'm home all day. I was like, I need to keep, being consistent, and I've been working on getting plenty of content up for when I'm not going to be here. So I've been staying busy, 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 and trying to do, private readings for people while I'm home as well. So, but yeah, Kendra, I feel like you guys are on the right track, and dude is doing great. He's still a cone head. Oh, I bet he absolutely loves that. Trying to get that cone off. The cone, we call it the cone of shame. Oh my goodness. He's like, get this off of me. But I'm glad he's doing good. Did they end up removing his spleen, or did it heal, or yeah, I'm really glad she's actually blowing me away with how good she is doing. And um you know the difference, because she was in so much pain that she always rocked, and now she's not. They removed it. Well, I'm glad though, like I said, he didn't feel like he was like it was even bothering him when I checked in with his energy before. uh he's just a happy-go-lucky guy, just I'll bounce right back, that sort of kind of. He gives me golden retriever energy, even if he's not a golden retriever, but that's that kind of energy is what I was seeing there, kind of. But I'm glad it went good. I'm glad he's doing good. I'm glad yours went good. And I love connecting with you guys. I love hearing about you guys and learning from you guys as well. They loved him. Oh, I bet. Like, he just gives off such good energy, like tail wagging and happy go lucky, still going 90 miles an hour. That sort of thing. I love it. He's just got such a um I feel like it's an uplifting kind of spirit, kind of energy. So yeah, I can tell, that they would absolutely love him, like, because he's got a lot of love, and he just gives it out freely. He's like, I love everybody. And I love it. I think like the love bug. Yes. When the last time, I think it was the last time I was in the hospital when I had my hysterectomy, and the nurses, and even when my ovary twisted and I had to have it removed, um, the nurses and everything would always flock to my room. They were like, "It's just peaceful in here. Like we like being." I'm like, "Yeah, I give out good vibes." Animals are incredible, such unconditional love. Yes, even my Lisi girl, we rescued her. She came up to me. I was sitting outside with a neighbor talking, and she came up to me and put her little head in my lap. Thank you for loving my laugh. Sometimes I snort. My husband loves that. He loves to make me laugh so hard I snort. But and so I told my husband to put her in the yard, and we didn't know she was pregnant. So she had puppies, and they were all really cute. And then I think she was abused by a man because she warmed up to me. She was leery of my husband for a long, long time. But from day one, she was all about me. And I think we got her in 2019, I want to say. And I don't even think she was that much older. You snort sometimes too? Yeah, I do too. Sometimes it just comes out. I don't think she was really that old, when she got pregnant either. But yeah, it seemed she acts like she was mistreated at one time, but yet she is still so loving. But she is very protective of me, and um, but I love her to pieces, and I'm glad she likes my husband now. But it takes her longer to warm up to men than it does women. She loves my mom, but she hasn't seen her in a while because we don't want her to knock Nanny over. That would not be good right now. For people that may be coming in, if you do have a question, put it in all caps for me so I can see it. Um, I do have trouble. I should have put my glasses on, but it's so funny. Like I was telling my mom, sometimes I wear my glasses and it helps the pressure. But then other times I put them on and it seems like it makes the pressure worse. I don't know what the deal is with that. And then I can't always read with them on. Like sometimes I have to pull them up so I can even see what I'm looking. I'm like, wow. But I have glaucoma, and I'm on an eye drop 3 times a day, and sometimes that eye drop, to relieve some of the pressure. But it's still sometimes I struggle with, even with my glasses on, I struggle with seeing things. You have been sleeping with them on? You're like, I've done that, fall asleep with them on. Yeah, I've done that. So is my husband. I've had to take his off of his face. Uh, you got them on so you can see what comes your way, even in your dreams or something like that. You're prone to glaucoma. Your eye, yeah. Mine was really high back in February, and then so they put me on a drop that I only had to do twice a day, but it had an interaction with, I think, my heart. Uh, and the heart medication I'm on. And so it was making it where I was having trouble breathing. And so I couldn't take it. And so they had to put me on this new one. And I went in May and my pressure was better. And I was supposed to go this morning, but I was wore out. And so I have to call and make another appointment with them. Like, I think they're checking it like every 3 months. And one of my eyes is worse than the other. too. Like one was higher than the other. That's wild. You would never think it. Yeah, that's what everybody was saying. I was like, yeah, because that was the only thing new at that time. So I was like, it has to be that because I wasn't having any problems until, and it took a few days. Like once it, but then I was, like I told my friends and my cousin and my husband even, it's a medicine, and you're putting it, so because it has a medicine in it, it can interact, but you would never think an eye drop, but it definitely did. They had to take me off of it, so because it literally felt like an elephant sitting on my chest. And um I have a CPAP machine that I use at night, and I was feeling like, man, am I going to have to start using this during the day? Because I was struggling to breathe, and I was like, I kind of do like breathing, like breathing is a good thing. Yeah, it really is scary, and you never know what's going to interact with what. Um, until you try. And I thought I had told them, you know, my medications I was on, but sometimes you forget, especially early in the morning. Like I am not a morning person, so I do not fire on all cylinders. And I'm the type, I have to open my phone, like when I know I'm going to go see the doctor or something, and I type a lot of stuff up because I tend to forget uh, things. And so I usually just type it up and then hand it to my doctor so she can see and catch up and everything like that. So I don't know if you read on medical, but doctors have checked everything, heart, lungs, but can't figure out why I don't have any endurance. Ooh. Plus, the doctor usually rushes you. So mine's actually pretty good about not rushing me, especially since the strokes and everything. She knows it takes my brain be braining. I can sometimes, Teresa. Of course, I'm not a medical professional or anything. Have you endocrine system or lymphatic even are two things that I've heard here. My lungs are okay, but like my heart's not. But uh, I was okay until I had to have a blood transfusion, and I think I got like 4 bags of blood, and I was still low when they discharged me. And because of that, that's when they're thinking that I had the strokes and was thrown into heart failure because I didn't have enough blood and my heart was pumping overtime, to pump what little I had. So my brain wasn't getting enough blood and oxygen, and neither was my heart. So uh, they checked everything, heart, lungs, but can't figure out why I don't have any endurance. So yeah, I'm glad I'm still here too. Like I'm like, you're gonna take me kicking and screaming. I don't know if you guys were here when I talked about how my grandma passed away at Kentucky Fried Chicken in the bathroom. I'm like, that's how I'm gonna have to go out, like sneak up on me and take me. But yeah, endocrine or like an endocrinologist, maybe is that what they're called, or even like your lymphatic system are two things I heard there, Teresa. So I don't. They thought you were having a heart attack or a stroke. Yeah, I had to wear I had to wear that heart monitor thing at one time, and ooh, yeah, and feeling like you're having a heart attack And what's crazy with me is I had strokes and didn't even know I had them. So uh, I started having trouble with like the left side of my body. It started getting weaker. Like my left leg used to be my good leg because the right, I have a lot of sciatica and other kind of issues with it. And but now I don't have a good leg. That sort of thing. Ooh, haven't well, first let me say I'm glad you didn't have a heart attack or a stroke. No diabetes. Yeah, that because diabetes is rough on you. Yeah, have that too. And I'm always like, that's kind of why I have a fear of going to the doctor because I'm always like, oh my God, what are they going to find this time? Like I have enough wrong with me. I don't want anything else. And we're trying to figure out what else is going on with me. Uh, too. So I there's some things like I get the butterfly. Your mom had a heart attack driving to pick up my dad after my dad's cataract surgery. She had ooh. See, and that's like my grandma passing away in public, and that just made my social anxiety worse. Are you, Teresa, are you prone to pneumonia or bronchitis or anything like that? Like, I don't know. It's your mom definitely went, yeah. So did my grandma, like sneak up and take them. But man, I can't imagine. And that's another reason I don't drive anymore. Like I don't feel safe. The last time I got behind the wheel, I about had a panic attack. So I'm glad I didn't have to drive very far. Because, I don't want to be behind the wheel and injure myself or someone else because of a medical crisis or something like that. Like, uh, no diabetes. Do you have high blood pressure or any kind? You have just about every specialist they check pulmonary test. Man, and they're like driving is stressful. Yeah, I don't like it either. Like I I don't even like being in the passenger like if I and going back and forth to the hospital was hard on me. Like I just blood pressure good. Man, your doctors are literally like, what the hell is going on with you? And I'm about on that level. I feel like I have a specialist for everything too, almost. Because I had to go and spend the night and do the thing, and found out I had sleep apnea. You're 64, so not young, but not old either. It's kind of, but man, I'm younger than you are, but my body is just like, we're, I said freak out, and my body's like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, I'm a freak out. Um, I'm kind of scratching my head here, like, it feels like it's going to be something like off the wall that you wouldn't even think, and that's going to be the thing. And but like once it's figured out, then you'll start feeling better. Metabolism good. So I know like I have a slow because I have hypothyroidism, so that's part of the reason. And then having heart failure too is part of the reason why I get tired or stay tired. I'm working on being the oldest adolescent. Yes. Love that. My friend and I were texting, uh, and she was like, I have to go back to work, and being a big people sucks. And I was like, I messaged her back and I was like, since I'm at my mama's, I am reverting back to being a little people. I am no longer a big people while I'm at my mom's. I would think they would have checked your thyroid, and like I knew a lady years ago where like they really had to keep a check on her thyroid because it would be overactive 1 minute and then underactive another. So, oh, and look, Kendra, I pulled malachite for you for healing. I am a healing machine manifesting miracles. Maybe that's for you as well, Teresa. Maybe you should get some malachite. And like what I do when I want to program a crystal is hold it in my hand and thank it for the energy it already has, and then ask it to help with healing. Another good healing is how light. Humor of the 12th, yeah, definitely. And inappropriate too. Like it's hard for me because like I laugh when I get nervous, and so sometimes people think I'm laughing at a situation, but I'm laughing to keep from crying. And and it's a nervous, like you can tell I'm nervous. Teresa, because you were a truck driver hat. Oh yes, abso-freaking-lutely. I forgot you were a truck driver, Teresa, until Kendra reminded me. You and Denise. I love that. I love that. Man, I feel like you're making them doctors scratch their heads like, what test is there left for us to do? Type of thing. But it's like, eventually, they figure it out, I feel like. And I wonder if taking magnesium, if you don't already, would kind of help you feel better. I was taking magnesium at one time, and like I didn't have as many headaches, and I felt better taking it. I need to grab some again when I can. Yeah, I would think like the thing is, like, I don't feel like there's anything major. I know anxiety and stuff can like, it is a really good supplement. It does, and you know, I started having thyroid problems when I was like 16. Mine just quit working very good, and I put on a lot of weight, and you know, tired all the time. And my mom was like, "Oh, you're just a hypochondriac." And then she took me to the doctor because there was days I struggled to get out of bed, and turned out my thyroid was underactive. And I get that from my dad. Like, I think he's one of six, and I'm pretty sure all of them and his mother, my grandma, were all on thyroid medication. And I didn't even know what a thyroid was. The cancer place has Reiki, oh, and acupuncture for free. So we'll be doing that. I think that would be really good for you too. I would love that. And that is truly amazing. I would definitely uh, take advantage of that. I do Reiki for myself sometimes, and my pendulum is actually a Reiki pendulum. So she does like answering questions, but she also likes helping me with holding. I'll hold it, and then as she spins, that means it's balanced, it's working, as long as it's spinning clockwise. But if it goes side to side, that means there's a blockage. Or if it spins, counterclockwise, then there's a blockage. And having to figure out, when it swings side to side, that means it's not in balance at all. So um, you know I work with that a lot, and when I do Reiki with people, I use Ostra to help tell me what's in balance and what's not. So I also have Teresa. If you want to email me at some point, I have it wrote down like for each one of the chakras. Like you can say it like 3 times. Your friend does healing energy. She was thinking it might be in my back. Lower middle back. Do you get pain there? I mean, the first time I saw my doctor that I'm seeing now, and I was still trying to work, and I drove to see her, and she refunded me. Oh, you got to go. Love chatting with you too, Kendra. I hope you have an amazing night. Thank you for being here. Um, the first time I went to see her, like she ended up lower back. Yeah. She ended up refunding me my money. That's when I found out that I needed to go have a blood transfusion. And she sent me straight to the emergency room. And that was my first visit. She's like, I'd never seen anyone that pale not laying on a gurney. And then when I told her I drove myself, she was like, good Lord. She's like, I don't even know how you're moving around. And I was like, I got to, I ain't really got a choice. Sometimes it just be what it be, lower back. Yeah, I get a lot of pain. It could be, let me see, for Teresa, root. So your root chakra, I'm getting a no for it being in balance. What about sacral? Sacral's okay. Solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown. I feel like it may be a blockage in your root chakra. Um, you can say, if you want to say this, yeah, you can use my go-go email. Yeah, absolutely. I have this root chakra, and I'll read through my book as well, and I'll send you some stuff for. It looked like a blockage in your root, or that it's not balanced. It's not, and that could be why you're having that pain and some of those issues. But everything else looked to be pretty good. So yeah, just shoot me an email and I will send you. I'll just go ahead and send you what I have for the rest of them too. They're not that long, so you can just say them to yourself. You can put your hands, over the spot, or hold a crystal, a good. And hematite is coming in here again. Yes, childhood trauma. Yeah, because when our root, we don't feel safe. That's a big one with your root chakra, not feeling safe, and that's like where we store childhood trauma. Yeah, that's a big one. And I have to go through, and sometimes my heart chakra is the hardest to keep balanced. So, but yours felt like it was pretty good. So yeah, lower back pain. Let me see if I still have it wrote down here. I have handy dandy notebooks that I keep. Root chakra sound. Yeah, I have handy dandy notebooks that I keep because if I don't write things down, I forget sometimes. So, location for your root is the base of the spine near the tailbone. So, any kind of red or even like hematite, it's very grounding, but like red jasper, uh, is a good one that you, and if you don't have crystals, that's perfectly okay. It's affected by issues of survival, family issues, money, food. When balanced, you feel secure, like you belong, prosperous, stable. When imbalanced, you feel insecure, like your needs aren't being met, afraid, depressed, anxious, or lethargic. So, I mean, the mantra for your root chakra is I am. Yeah, I have a big piece of red jasper, but I have a chakra set that has each chakra, and um you're all of that. Yeah. So we can work on that. I don't mind helping because I've had issues, and sometimes it takes a while. It's usually not one and done. Sometimes we really have to work at it, get an attunement. But I think going to the place with the Reiki and the acupuncture will help as well. So um, I think that would be really good for you. And I may, and you're on to, yeah, I have my next hearing in October for mine. I've been trying for 6.5 years to get it, and they keep, they use my age as a reason, and then they told me that I had recovered from my strokes and there wasn't anything wrong with my heart. And I was like, where did you get this information? Because, I'm still on heart medication. None of my doctors have said I've recovered, from anything. But, anything they can do to deny you, they will do. So it's been a battle, but, I'm a warrior. I don't give up. Um, so, anyway, I think it's just you and me, Teresa, right now. So, if you want, go ahead and shoot me an email and I will send you all of this information, especially on the route. And then, if you decide that you want the rest of it, I'll send that as well. You know, so that's one of the things Ostra really. I've gotten a lawyer too, and so. They've really been fighting right along with me. I tried it on my own at first, but so much of it went over my head. I'm like, I don't know what, like, you need to dumb it down for me. I don't understand, you know, all the legal terms and everything. So, um, I finally got a lawyer as well. So, and then having to stay on top of it, going to the doctors, trying to figure out what's wrong, and then finally I'm like, man, I'm tired of finding out what's wrong. Can we slow down on finding out what's wrong? But I'm still here, and I'm grateful and thankful for that. And I just kind of handle everything with humor too. So kind of like you said, you would think heart and stroke. Yeah, you would think automatically, but no, they are fighting me tooth and nail on that. And but now I have glaucoma on top of it, so that's another. But I just keep trying to put as much positive thought and energy. This is my time to win. You know, and everything, and even I'm still going to keep fighting no matter what. So um, eventually they'll probably just get tired of dealing with me. I hope, like, just give it to her, like she ain't ever going to give up. So uh, I've come too far to give up, though, like, because if I could work, I would absolutely be out there having a job. But I think I am going to start winding down for the night. I am so very grateful and thankful to each and every single person that, yeah, be on them, keep calling. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I'm grateful and thankful to each and every single person that came in tonight, whether they had a question or whether they were just watching. For those that watch it on replay, that, get the message that I started off with that was for the general collective. Um, I hope that everyone has an amazing night. I hope you have an amazing week up ahead and that you keep believing in yourself and keep putting your best foot forward each and every single day. Thank you, Teresa. Have a great night as well. From the bottom of my heart, I love and appreciate each and every single one of you, and I want to say thank you. Blessed be. Namaste and goodbye.